Is everybody ready? Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is the Zoning Board of Appeals, and we do have a quorum tonight. The appeal tonight is a variance appeal. Property owner Mary DeRico, is Mary here? Okay. Of 69 Bachelor Lane, further identified as tax assessor's map 115, lot 89, A1, is requesting a variance to allow a portion of a 5 by 7 foot deck to encroach 2 feet into the 11.3 foot reduced side setback. The subject property resides within the residential A district, land use, chapter 145, article 5, section 145-21. Certainly you have standing as you're the owner of the property. And we have jurisdiction. Let me read the jurisdiction. The zoning board, this is 145-67, A. The zoning board of appeals shall have the following powers and duties, and this is A5, mislocated building appeal. To hear and decide upon appeal in specific cases where existing buildings are found to be in violation of the setback requirements and where such location of buildings will not be contrary to the public interest, whether an appeal should be granted. In order to grant a mislocated building appeal, the board must find that there was no willful or premeditated action or gross negligence to build within the setback. And that is the criteria that has to be met to grant this appeal. Do we have any conflicts on the board?
I'll speak up here. I've done work at the property prior before. Very small little job, but I don't think it's a conflict, but I wanna bring that up there, put that out forward, so if you guys have a problem with that, I'll sit down.
Right,
Otherwise,
you
we'll move
had
forward.
nothing to do with this deck?
I had nothing to do with this deck.
Okay. I don't think there's a conflict. Does anybody have anything to say?
Okay.
Okay, let's vote on that then, except John, of course. Does the board feel that there is a conflict of interest for John on this appeal? I don't, so if you, I would entertain a motion then.
So I'll make a motion that there is no, John has no conflict in his ability to participate.
Okay, any more discussion on that?
None of my own.
All in favor that John does not have a conflict?
Does the applicant have any objections to John?
Does the applicant have an objection to John being on the?
No.
No. Okay. All in agreement that John does not have a conflict?
Thank you.
I'm not voting, right?
You can vote on this.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't vote on granting an appeal.
Right.
But as far as procedural things and stuff
Okay.
like that,
Okay.
that's the way I run it. I'm a believer in participation, so, yep. Okay. The appellant is present. You can come forward if you want to and sit in one of the chairs. So who wants to volunteer to do findings of fact? John?
Yes, I will, I'm due.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, the way the appeal happens is the appellant will present their case first. Questions for you will go through, from the board, will go through me. Then the code office will give their testimony, and same procedure. Any questions from the board will go through the chair. And then you'll have a chance for rebuttal. And any interested parties also, if they wish to speak, may speak. Do you have any questions before we start? Okay, go ahead and
Would it be alright if I'm her brother-in-law, would it be alright if I speak for her?
okay, let's,
On it.
Oh, no, go
Yeah,
ahead.
he can.
so what's your
Fine.
name, sir?
Michael Geoghegan, Geaghan.
Okay.
I'm not an attorney.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
So she went she wanted to have this put on, and when she hired a contractor. And then the contractor went to pull a permit. And when he went to pull the permit, there's a copy of that in there somewhere. There's a letter that, I think from Jim.
Yeah,
But-
Jim.
So he went to pull the permit, and then he was told because it wasn't attached to the building, that he didn't need a permit. And then they were under the impression, that they didn't have to meet any setback requirements. But they did, they went, the application for the permit is in there, so that addresses the question of, was she trying to get something by you?
In good faith.
Yeah.
I mean, I went up there with him.
Yeah, they came here and they filled out the application, so they weren't trying to sneak a little deck on there without anybody knowing about it. That's not the case here.
Okay.
So then she puts a very expensive awning over it. And if you look at the picture, there's only one abutter that can even see the property. As far as, and taking off 2 feet wouldn't change anything of how it looks from the road, from the neighbors. You wouldn't be able to tell if the 2 feet came off. But it'd be pretty expensive.
Plus, it would be that I couldn't use the deck to sit out there because the chairs wouldn't fit.
So the whole thing probably would have to come down.
Anything else?
As far as she thought that she had done everything right. And we do agree that it is attached. I don't know. It looks attached to me.
Any questions?
That's the only, one question I would have is you've already mentioned it, it appears to be attached. Is it physically attached? Because that does make a difference.
There's a little gap between,
Thank
but
you.
I don't know, to me,
There's there's the perception and the functionality, and then there's the.
yeah, but when the building inspector came out and looked at it, he thought it was attached.
Oh, okay.
He can address it.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right, we'll
Address that.
get to that, okay, good.
Anything else?
So who, I just wanna rewind a little bit on, who said that you did not need is it in here, something, it may be in this package.
I don't have the name of the person, but I was with my contractor when we came up. And I
Here?
spoke,
Okay.
yes, to a woman, and that's what she told me. But she never mentioned anything about setbacks. And I don't even know what a setback is because to put that on my property, Steve from
Site Solutions.
US Site Solutions did the work, and I mean, I was a banker and I have nothing to do with building. So he did all that, so I don't even know what a setback, I know now what a setback is.
Just from a history point of view.
Yeah.
The street was laid out in 1950s sometime. Was there another structure there before you bought it, after you bought it?
Oh yeah, my dad,
Okay, your dad had the original,
yes,
and had an original building on
It was a
there,
trailer,
and that was removed,
yes.
yes,
and then you put this new structure on the property, okay, and that was what year, 2022, if I read this correctly?
21.
But in that frame, yeah, that it was built in 2022, so alright, so
The
about
family's
20.
been there for 50 years.
I just wanna make sure that we understand the kind of the history of how you got to where you're at, okay? Alright, so and then you put this new building on US Site Solutions,
Yes.
prep the site,
Yeah.
okay, alright. Good, I'll make sure I understood that.
Anything else? Are we good?
Just one question.
Yeah.
The setback before was 11.3. What is the code for the setback for that section?
It's 15 feet, but since
That's what I
it's
was
a,
thinking.
and I'm sure the code office will address this, it's allowed to be reduced in
20%.
section
Yeah.
14511
Yeah,
or something
I'm
like
just,
that.
I just didn't
Yeah.
see anything saying the 15 feet was the code. I just didn't see it.
15 feet.
Yeah.
Except for
Yeah.
lots with, I think it's less than 75% of road frontage or something like that. But Jim can address that.
Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that number, that's all.
Yeah.
That's what I needed to know.
Okay.
The only other thing on the timing question is the building was placed, didn't have the second phase permit, but you got it in May of 23.
Steve got it, I didn't have anything to do with that.
Okay, but, all right, the property received the permit.
Yes.
The property received, how it got.
Yeah.
And then it was 2 years later that it came to the surface, or came to the surface that there was a deck, and it's not in, it's not where, there was a deck on it, so we're missing, so you went from, you moved the old building, placed the new building, year goes by, second phase, you tell me if I'm wrong here, cause I'm kind of.
You're right.
Okay. No, it was pointed out there was no second phase permit, which is the building itself, that was addressed, and a second phase permit was issued in May of 23. And then in May, I guess, in the spring of 25, March of 25, it came to the surface that, it came to be known that there was a deck, and it was and yes, it's in the setback part of this, all right, that's why the sequence, because there's some windows of time here where nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it happened, okay, good, all right, just wanna make sure I have from a factual point of view, thank you.
Okay. When was this deck actually constructed?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay.
22, when the house was put in, oh, sorry.
No, it was after the,
No, it was shortly after that, but it's 3 years old, I think.
okay.
Yeah,
So that was done approximately the same time that you put the home on the property?
no, a year after.
Okay. All right.
And that was not done by Site Solutions, that was done by the other contractor,
No, he got busy and I hired a kid that worked for him and he built the deck.
and that's the individual whose name is in here, Northwood Properties,
Yes,
alright.
Northwood, yeah.
Okay, so Northwood Properties,
Christopher Modi.
alright, came in and and added the deck for you.
Yeah.
Okay, added the deck for you, Mashad, yeah, alright, so the sequence of events, okay. Right, and that was about a year after the house was placed, the structure was placed.
Correct.
Put on, and then another 2 years went by and it came to the surface that this was not, part of the deck is in the setback.
Right.
Okay, so make sure the windows of time and who knew what when, okay.
Set, John?
I think I will.
Okay. Anyone else? Jim, you ready?
So, it was just alluded in their opening statement that there is a email or a letter from me indicating a permit wasn't required. I don't see that letter in my packet that was presented. I see the notice of violation that CEO James Moulton did, and nowhere does it say anything about a permit not being required. Basically, there is a line saying that the setback requirements were included in the emails for this property on March 13, 2025. An email was received by Code Officer Jim General from Christopher Michoud, not from me, but from him, stating we are no longer in need of a permit for this location of the deck. So, I don't know where that statement or where that came from for me. So it did. So, in doing this, I have an attachment, you all should have had it, pretty thick packet in there. In the first part of it, I covered all the zoning requirements, the lot. To answer the question before, there was a previous building, it went basically parallel to the
I
road.
just wanna
Yep.
interrupt you just for a second here, Jim. On the side setbacks, I do things like this too. It says 11.3 feet, and it's actually 11.25 feet, which translates to 11 feet 3 inches, is that
Correct.
correct?
Yep.
So, John, as you're writing it up, you wanna make sure that you clarify that, things got a little switched around, that's all. Okay, Jim.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So in the zoning, just to answer the question that John Ardini had, was the original house prior to this one was parallel to the road. It covered 2 lots. It was it was demoed, 1 lot became vacant. They have an open permit right now. And this lot, basically Steve Conger did the permit for the building itself. And now they're both meeting the setbacks on the 50 by 100. So both lots are 50 by 100. And they go elongated in, if that makes sense. Again, the lots are 50 by roughly 101 feet at 0.5. They are in the RA district. Normal frontage for the RA district is 25 feet in the front, 15 sides, and 15 in the rear. Because of 145-14B under non-conforming lots, they are allowed to have a reduced setback, which equates to, and it's the side setbacks, which equates to 11.3. So that's where that comes from.
11 feet 3 inches.
11 feet 3 inches. So their actual setbacks for that property are 25 in the front, side setbacks adjusted are 11.3, and rear is 15. I did mention the 3 permitting. The only one I highlighted in here was the item 2B, which was applied for on 3/6/2023. Application was on hold and still is on hold for Norwoods Property Services for the deck platform. The application for the permit was received, like I said, on 3/6/2023 from Norwoods Property Services. I attached a survey image that I marked up that's showing the proposed deck platform location not meeting side setbacks approximately 2 feet 3 inches into the side setback. I also attached the construction drawings that I received in an image of the deck location. And that would be under item 3 in your packet. So, and they're all labeled like that in the top corner for the items. So item 3 has the application. It has the image that we received, and I doctored it up with a bunch of notes on it. The plan I received from Christopher Michaud, who was the contractor, and then the images at that time, March 6, 2023, stamped into this office, not showing the deck at all. So this was part of the application.
Do we have that picture in this package?
Yes, you do. It's in section 3 of it.
Right. But it shows a picture with no deck.
Correct. And it's stamped in by this office.
And
That
is
was
there a
the-
date on that picture?
Yep, let me go back to it. The picture itself, no, but it was received on March 6, 2023, so it could have been
23.
taken. This was given to us in the application. We did not take this photo.
Okay, the 23, okay,
So this was part of the application file.
okay.
I'll move on to the emails. Roughly, what you have in your packet, which would be item number 4, is emails from me to the contractor from March 2023 through March 17, 2025. Nowhere in that does it say that a permit's not required. In fact, I've said multiple times a permit's required. And it has to meet setbacks, whether it's attached or detached. I was trying to get that information because the biggest question I was asking, because it's a manufactured home, if it's attached, an engineer or the company has to sign off on it with a stamped plan. Because it's a manufactured home, we don't have control over how it's designed in a factory. So any attachments that don't come with it has to have a stamped plan, whether it's a local engineer or the company. If it's detached, then I don't need anything from the company, we can just do the permit itself. So you don't need an engineer. Yep, still needs a permit. So through those emails, again, like I said, nothing shows anything in those emails from myself to the contractor stating a permit's not required. In those emails, from Norwood Property Services on March 13, 2025, he indicated to me that there was no longer a need for a permit. And at that time, no permit has been issued and still on hold. I wrote back to him saying that a permit was required, and it would be in violation if it was installed, and then that very next day, Jim Moulton, who does our enforcement, went out, took some images, and that's where the notice of violation came in because the deck was already installed. And that was on March 14th. And those are all in item number 4 of your packet. Item number 15 is the notice of violation, which is dated March 20, 2025. The NOV is 3 pages. It has images of the deck platform taken on March 14th. It has images of the survey marked and highlighted by myself, certified copy mail posting, and the complaint number in the open complaint, 2690 is the number. The second page I have, I'm gonna go down to where it's, I'm gonna skip the top part first and go down. So I put in from chapter 14510, some of the definitions. Building, any structure having roof supported by columns. This is not a building. And the reason I'm doing this is, you'll see in the paragraph ahead when I read into it. Deck, a platform usually used for seating and or access to a building, elevated above the ground, which may have railings surrounded, but it has no roof or coverings. And then a structure, anything constructed, assembled, or erected having a fixed location uninterrupted for more than 10 days, on or in the ground or in the water. Any attachment to the structure shall be considered part of the structure, and then has a bunch of things where what are exempt and it is not exempt. Building permits, 14561. A, building permit is required, no building or structure shall be erected, moved, or enlarged in area, including gross floor area or volume without a permit issued by the code enforcement officer. So I scroll back up, and this is my overview. The deck platform was built / installed without proper permitting per land use 14561 and does not meet the reduced side setback as outlined in 14514B, as outlined in above, item number 1D. The deck is built, if the deck is built to plan at 5 feet, that would be 2 feet 3 inches into the side setback. A deck is defined as a structure, not as a building, therefore a mislocated building variance could not be granted. The applicant has applied for a straight up variance and has not outlined the required 4-step criteria for hardship in the application. The deck is not a means of entry or egress. The code officer requests the variance appeal is denied and the deck either removed or in the sliding door blocked off, or with proper permitting, the new updated plans, the deck cut back to meet the reduced side setback of 11 feet 3 inches. If you have any questions, that's really my presentation.
If, this was just verifying the code for me, if that was an egress point, could when we use the word structure, knowing that, I'm gonna use the word, the general structure here, we're looking to, if it was an egress point, in other words, if it had steps down, could it sit in the setback?
If it's, no, in theory, no.
Okay,
Because if it was the only, so any single family dwelling only requires one legal means of egress entry. Alright, so they already have that in the front. If this was any set of stairs attached or detached, has to meet setbacks unless it's part of hardscape. Alright, and that means it can't be greater than 30 inches, because once it has a guard system and a railing, because over 30 inches in the building code requires a guard system. Then it basically cannot be in the setback as well.
guard system for the railing, for the steps,
Steps,
yeah, right.
So basically in the code, it's 4 steps or greater, requires a guard system, and or 30 inches above that. So if they had a set of stairs that were less than that, then it would not require it.
Right, and it could sit where, it- in that space where it says. So what's the 30 inches again, 30 inches?
That's the height.
The height, okay, the height of the.
Yeah,
of the set.
and for the code compliances, its height measured 30 inches up and 3 feet out.
3
So if
feet
you had a
up.
drop off, they would measure out as well, so.
And your 30 inches is from the grade to
Grade.
the top step.
Correct.
No, I was just looking if there was a way, if this, I know steps can be in the setback, but there were some criteria. And then if
There is a section in the ordinance under 14513G, I think it is, which covers egress. that if it's a means of egress, that, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff, that can be put in, through approval without a variance. And this, they already have a legal means of egress, cause,
That's not germane to this.
right, it's done,
No,
but
only.
there is a section in that.
And as long as there's one acceptable point of egress.
Yep.
Alright, that's not an option then, okay?
Anything else, anybody?
I have some questions.
Yes, sir.
Chair. Tell me about freestanding structure. Is this attached to the, you inspected it, right? Is it
I
attached to the
have not been on the
You
property.
haven't been on the
inspected.
property?
Nope. No one's inspected it, we
Well,
just took pictures from a distance because there's no permit been issued, no
Would
inspections
that
of it.
make any difference, Jim, if it was freestanding or not?
No, it wouldn't.
What
Still
about a
required.
freestanding structure less than 120 square feet? In the code, it says that structure is unregulated.
Right, but we have zoning. So,
What does unregulated mean then?
I don't know, we have to look up that definition.
That's what it
I'm not
says
gonna
right in
get
the
it.
code. It says these buildings are not regulated, so how?
But this is not that building.
The structure, it's a freestanding structure if it's not attached, right? Less than 120 square feet, less than 11 feet high.
Right,
So
so,
criteria over there is.
so
it
a
meets
good
it.
example is a generator. A generator is less than 100 square feet.
Whether it be
Generator-
attached with, it has,
A generator has to meet setbacks.
it's attached, so it's no longer freestanding.
A shed is a freestanding structure, alright? I've had sheds no less than, 20 square feet all the way up to whatever. It's in the actual building code is what you're quoting, it says permits are not required. The permit is required for zoning.
I think, Jim, what it amounts to is if it's
So is that
less-
how this got confused? Someone in the code office told them that? Is that?
If they're talking to the people at the front staff, they don't give out this type of information.
If
It would have to be a code officer and I would
If
need
a
a name.
structure is less than 120 square feet, it still needs a building permit, correct? But it doesn't have to meet building code.
Correct.
I think that's what it means.
But when we have a deck platform,
No, it says unregulated or non-regulated. Non-regulated doesn't mean requires a
Where does
permit.
it say?
well,
It's in the national, the building code.
right, but we also have an
Structures not
ordinance.
requiring permits, and it lists them as a freestanding structure, and then it gives a criteria of.
Mhm.
It used to be 200 square feet, but it's gone down to 150, and now it's down 120.
Mhm.
Less than 11 feet high, and it says that, and then it says is non-regulated,
No, it's the building code,
Yeah.
but not
that the
the
town of Wells
ordinance.
adopted, right? So,
Oh, the state adopted it.
state adopted it, yeah.
But you have to comply with the more stringent
Well, now-
criteria,
Well, now you're into you have conflicting codes.
right?
The
And then,
applicant-
and then 145, I think it's 145.5 or 145.9, it states, and it states all the federal, local, state, whichever is restrictive is the more compliant.
You gotta comply with them all. So if you were in a town that didn't have a land use ordinance, maybe you wouldn't have to do it.
I'm just wondering how if they got this information from someone at the code office, where it came from. And I'm thinking
Well-
this is where
Don't know.
someone quoted you something like this.
Well, I would just say, you can't ignore my emails to the contractor.
But when those emails to the contractor,
Mhm.
was it that after the deck had already been put on?
It was before and after. It was during the whole process, I stated the dates, the March of 23 to March of 25.
Because we don't know anything about those emails, but I'm trying to follow the timeline here. And it looks like he came up to pull the permit and then he didn't follow through on it. And then he put the deck on. And then the email start that he was it before the deck or after the deck went on it? Cause I think that's a significant thing.
It was before and after, as I indicated.
Well, then we were unaware of that.
Right, and I will add, I mean, these questions should be going through you, Mr. Chair, but I will add that the contractor was acting as an agent on behalf of the owners like any other contractor does.
Understand. Anyone have any more questions?
I guess the question this line of questioning while we're in data
We're
gathering.
almost in deliberations.
Yeah,
really.
right, so I'm trying not to cross that line. Cause I think, I'll speak for myself, if there was any way that we could come up with a way that
This
this needed permit.
is deliberations.
I know that, but
And we're not in deliberations yet.
I'm not deliberating, I'm making a statement of fact, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'll say, my statement of fact is that what I am doing, it seems there's anyway, now, so I'm gonna ask the clerk, can you think of any suggestion on how they could have allowed this deck to stay?
At this size, no.
Okay.
If I could have found a way to permit it, we would not be here.
Yes, I know that has been your track record, you always try to make it work when you can.
Mhm.
Okay, at least that's my experience, okay, if we can, okay, so. Rather than me have to figure it out, if
I
you,
mean, I
you tried
exhaust
to
all the
figure,
non-conforming sections of our ordinance,
you tried to figure it out.
so.
Okay, that's why I'm looking, Mr. Chairman, that's what
Yeah,
I'm curious.
Well, that's, the non-conforming thing is
Yep,
things that were legal at the time they happened,
right.
but don't meet current requirements, and that's not the case we have here.
No, one other question is the code enforcement officer said that this is a request for a variance, the 4 steps require variance. And we opened this meeting with a mislocated building
That's correct.
appeal, okay?
But that's what the appellant applied for,
Okay, fine,
and we cannot change that.
alright, so maybe there's 2 different, alright. The criteria that the code enforcement officer, you're looking at this as a as a variance request.
It has to be very quick, cause I mean, I know we don't do past precedents, but every other, since I was on the board way back when, and prior to that, that any time a deck came in front is considered not a building, therefore the deck either would have to get cut back or removed. Because the only way to do a building, a mislocated building is a building. And that deck is not a building under definition.
Um,
And that's why I outlined it the way I outlined
Okay,
it in my overview.
Okay.
Anything else, anybody?
Fine.
Yeah, no. Anyone else wish to speak? Yeah, go ahead.
Are we supposed to, I mean, I'm a direct neighbor of
Yeah,
Mary's.
if you could state your name, please.
Diana Hassan, 61 Bachelor Lane, Wells. So we're right next to Mimi's house. I mean, it's beautiful. It's small. It doesn't bother us in any way, shape or form. I know that's not what the issue is. And I was thinking, like you were saying too, I think your name was John, like, is there a way? It's up there, it's aesthetically beautiful, it's small. Is there a way, even though it bypassed a rule, I think there's a lack of communication, but is there a way for a fix? Like I was thinking about the stairs too, but in any event, I'm just here to state that, it's really pretty. And I think if it's chopped off, I don't know what that's gonna look like. And I can't speak for them, but knowing what I know about my neighbors, I wouldn't think they would try to do anything untoward. They've maintained the property. It's a sin basically, and it just sounds like there was a lot of lack of communication with the contractor, whatever. Here they are, but just wanted to state for the record, it's very pleasing. I have no issue at all.
Okay.
that's good to know.
Thank you. Anyone else? Are we good? Do you wish to say anything further?
At the very beginning, when you were saying the criteria for getting the variance would be that, probably butchered a little bit, but good faith on our part, that we were, trying to do the right thing. And that we're not doing anything that would bring the neighborhood down at all. In fact, it probably enhances it. So that seemed to be the criteria when you started this, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So I think we've met that.
Well, that's what we'll discuss.
Okay.
Jim, anything further?
No, like I mentioned though, I'm sure you're gonna cover the 4-step criteria for hardship.
Well, I mean, that's what this comes down to, is really it was the wrong appeal that was filed. And where do we go from there? We can discuss what would happen perhaps with hardship, but that's not what the appeal is.
And that would be one of our points of deliberation,
We can deliberate about that,
right?
absolutely.
That we can deliberate with it.
Yep, I think perhaps by deliberating on if this had been a hardship variance, would it have met the four criteria to grant it? Perhaps we can assist the appellant that way. But it's the wrong appeal. And I'm sorry you folks were misled, but
why wasn't I told that when I filed for the appeal?
I do not know. Perhaps Jim could answer that. I can't.
I can't answer that because I don't deal with the application process, that would be Stacy.
But at the moment, it is a mislocated building appeal,
That's what it is.
at the moment.
So that's how we have to address it.
And we can
Mr.
make,
Chairman, can they
But how
withdraw
is
their
that-
their appeal and file a new?
They could, but they might wanna listen to us deliberate first. To avoid,
That would be your suggestion, to
No,
wait?
no, wait,
I'm not gonna suggest what you do, we're not in a position to do that.
I need direction.
No,
What do I do next?
let's find out how this goes first, and then we'll go from there.
We can't offer you legal advice, I mean, that's not, we're not lawyers, we just can't do that.
No, I know, but I would have applied for a hardship if I had known that that's what I needed to do.
Well,
Look, I think we meet the criteria though, for what you described at the beginning of the meeting.
okay, is everyone set?
Yes.
Any more questions? Do you wish to say anything else, anybody?
no, one question I have is that the property was inspected after the contractor made a statement, we no longer need a permit. The contractor made that statement.
So the inspection process was for the phase one foundation of the slab
Right.
and the building and the CO.
Right.
That's what they, again, no permit has been issued. It wasn't an inspection because he did not go by appointment. He did not go on the property. He took pictures from the street
Okay.
for the violation.
This was done a year after said dates.
Yeah, I get where I'm inquiring about is, Mr. Chairman, what is the, what motivated this code enforcement office to do this inspection?
No one in this room,
Like I said in the statement here, I believe it was the 13th, March 2025, the email from and you have the email in your file.
Right.
Norfolk Property Services indicated a permit was no longer needed for the property. No permits were, and again, no permits were ever issued at that time. I have a permit on hold, right? So at that time, like anything else we do, if someone says my permit's no longer, I don't need my permit anymore, I go right next door to the next office over and go, Jim, swing by and see if that deck's up there, or swing by and see that generator's up there before I cancel the permit.
Alright.
Because I'm assuming that it was never built based on the images, alright? So if they're gonna withdraw it, I'm gonna ask for withdrawal of it.
Okay, but that is
Send money
enough,
back.
that's enough to motivate you or the office.
Yes,
To go- to go-
before
the
we,
office to
before
go
we
take
send
it.
money back and withdraw our permit,
Alright.
We
to
do
go
once,
take
a drive-by
alright,
once.
I just wanna understand what triggers what.
Yep.
Cause I know you typically are complaint driven.
and this probably changed a few years ago, I won't mention the area, but it's where near you live.
Yeah.
That an individual had a generator permit.
Yeah.
You know, we had a back and forth going on for a location.
Yeah.
He couldn't find a location, although he could have, he didn't wanna put it there. He withdrew the permit, I gave him money back, the whole thing back, because he withdrew it. And we happened to be doing storm damage, drive-bys, and then we drove by, I was with Jim Moulton, and there it was, right in the front, already put in. We stopped, that was a violation.
Alright, so you had a reason to be motivated, because you had received money from them, and if this thing closed, you had an obligation to return the money.
Yes,
And this way, before you return the money, you want to make sure that that was the appropriate thing to do.
if everything's compliant,
I just wanna know what triggered the, cause
no problem.
cause you drive by and it jumps in front of you, but you're not gonna,
Yep.
you're not overly aggressive, but you're practical.
But we
okay,
just wanna verify.
are we good?
I'm done now, yes.
All right,
Mr. Chairman,
Wait a
the
minute.
applicants,
Can I
are we
say
still taking
something?
testimony or?
yes. Yes, go ahead.
That is not how it happened, though. My neighbor was putting a garage in her front yard. the inspector was out there to tell him where to place it and everything. He saw the deck, that's what made this whole thing happen.
Yeah.
If they didn't build the garage in front of me, in front of their home, which I don't care, it's beautiful, I love it. It would have been maybe the next 5 years before someone saw it, realized it was there. I don't know.
Well, I guess it's a done deal. That's
It
the
is
way
really,
it is.
yeah.
No, but I'm just saying that that's what happened.
I can tell you based on the email traffic that I have right here in front of me that I'm looking at it. And basically it's at 6:14 PM on a Thursday, he wrote to me, this is Christopher Michaud. Hi James, we are no longer in need of a permit for this location, thank you for the time. I wrote back the next morning at 8:10, this is March 14th. I said, okay, please send me an email indicating you wish to withdraw the application 23-00175 for the 7x5x3 platform. And then I wrote again on the 14th, this is at 1:23, and I wrote, hi all, this was sent to me on 3/13/25. And it says, hi James, no longer blah blah blah. In saying this, a permit was never issued for the property in the side deck platform, for the side deck platform. The attached photo shows the deck platform installed without a permit. This is a violation. Also, as I indicated in my previous email, the side setback is only 11.3. To issue this permit, I need a survey of the property showing the deck platform meets setbacks. I am also forwarding this also to CEO James Moulton to begin notice of violation documentation. As a reminder, if this is not rectified, we may seek legal action in the court of law. Violations can be costly and if imposed by a judge, fines could be from $100 to $5,000 per day per violation. That's out of state statute. So that's what I wrote, and that was to the contractor, but I CC'd US Site Solution and everybody in this office that I work with.
Are we good? Everybody set? You guys
Yes,
set?
Yes.
Jim, you're set?
I'm set.
I would, Jason, I'm good. Okay, I would entertain a motion then that we close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion that we close this public hearing.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further deliberation, or are we good to go? All right, all in favor of closing the public hearing? Now, John will have to go away and write findings of fact, so it won't be official, it'll be a straw vote. This is for the benefit of the appellant. So officially, it won't be a done deal until our next meeting, which is August 11, I believe. So, as a mislocated building appeal, Mr. Genero did point out it's not a building, it's a structure. So it's NA. So just based on that alone, we cannot grant a mislocated building appeal for something that is not a building.
Okay, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I question that. I'm sure that's been the criteria. It's a structure, it's not a building. It's attached to the building, it certainly could be.
I
And,
believe
and,
that's true.
Yeah, we're not clear on if it's
I
attached or
don't
not.
think it's attached.
Okay,
The way it's
but
built doesn't look attached.
it could become attached.
But it doesn't matter.
Not attached, okay, but where I'm going is I know that the code enforcement officer has dealt with this many, many times. But I think the definition of what is a mislocated building, what's kind of comes out of the state, I believe comes out of the state code years, it was in, my interpretation, that was written in some pretty general terms and it didn't get into attached, unattached, but attached to a structure or a building. So where I'm going is that if it was attached, we could address it as a mislocated building.
Mr. Chair, may I interrupt for a minute? I know you're not open, but I can guide you to where I have the definitions in there for you.
I read them out.
Okay, it's page 2 of my
Yep.
presentation, second page.
We've got the
Okay.
definitions.
I just questioned the
And
code.
looking, I mean, there's a sketch here that shows it attached.
Right.
but I don't believe that that's the way it ended up. It looks like in this picture in the back, the color photo,
Yeah, there's something.
you can see that there are 4 posts supporting this.
Right.
If it were attached to the trailer, you wouldn't need those posts next to the trailer.
There's a trash can or something right in the way.
It's,
Okay, so we're assuming it's unattached.
you can
Okay.
see
Yeah.
right there.
Yep.
So it is a detached structure. And as a structure, it is not, well, buildings are structures, but structures aren't buildings necessarily, all right? There's no roof.
Can I add something? When the guy came out that day from his office.
The public hearing is closed, sir.
For your information. His position was that it was attached. When he looked at that, he said, he went like this, he didn't take a picture from far away, he was right next to it, he was sitting with us on it, sorry. He was on one side looking up, so he saw the whole thing. And he said, when I said, well, if it's not attached, cause that's what I thought, it doesn't need it, he says, no, that is attached.
That makes no difference.
Not this one.
And anyway, the public hearing is closed.
Anyone else got an opinion on this?
Yeah, but it's the wrong, not a building. It's as a mislocated building, not a mislocated structure.
Yeah.
This is a structure.
So this, whoops, got it. So this section, 145-67A5 for a mislocated building appeal cannot be applied to this structure.
Correct.
Because this structure is not a building. Do we agree with that?
Yes, I do.
No,
No, I'm unclear.
I'm unclear also.
What about you, John?
Go over it one more time, please.
Okay, from the definitions, let's see, where are we? Da-da-da-da. Okay. In section, what is it, 10? Yeah, 145-10 definitions. A building is defined in our code as any structure having a roof supported by columns or walls and intended for the shelter, housing, or enclosure of persons, animals, or personal property. There is no roof. So it's not a building.
What is it?
It's a structure.
Okay,
Detached-
and the
detached to the-
first sentence of definition is any structure.
Which has a roof, John. It doesn't have a roof. It's not a building.
But if it was attached to the building, it would be considered part of the building.
I
And
don't
that's the
know.
part, that's the part I'm not clear about, if it is attached.
Yeah.
I think that's what he,
I'm
that's
not
what he,
sure.
that's what he said.
Okay, alright,
But the picture clearly shows.
No, there's a garbage can in the way, you can see, I know the way it's built
Well,
would,
right now,
would
none of us
lend to
can
be.
say one way or another if it's attached or not attached. So all we're doing is speculating. And by speculating, we don't have all the answers. So without all the answers, how can we come to a conclusion that it's a structure? We know it's not a structure because it doesn't have a roof to it.
It's not a building.
It's not a building,
Right.
it's a structure.
not a building, okay, no, you're right.
It's not
Not
a building.
I agree, it's not a building.
So
And that's what the
that's what
permit
we're sticking on.
was.
But it could be part of a building if it's attached.
But it doesn't have the roof on
Yeah, I
this
know, but
attachment.
I know, but if it
You
would be
just read the
considered part of the
definition.
building.
But it's
if it was built.
still
Okay.
in the,
It's still in the set, yeah.
Okay, let's look at
still in the
this.
setback.
But that, we're into that,
This is the
different criteria.
definition
I don't know.
for-
I'd like to give
structure.
everyone a fair shake.
Okay,
It's just a structure. It's not a structure.
anything constructed, assembled, or erected having a fixed location, uninterrupted for more than 10 days on or in the ground or in the water. Any attachment to a structure shall be considered to be part of the structure. So, okay, I can see where you might do that. But is an attachment is a structure attached to a building necessarily part of the building? Yeah, okay, it's
That's what they
fuzzy.
said,
It's
yeah.
fuzzy.
It's a real gray area there.
It's attached
I
to the
mean,
structure,
I'm-
it's part of the structure.
And
It's
and
double
none of
talk.
us can prove
It
one
is.
way or another if it's attached or not at
I-
this point.
I'm comfortable with my opinion that it's not a building.
It's built,
Correct.
it's built like it would be not, it would be freestanding.
And
but
the
we can't, but I
picture
can't see.
shows, to me, I'd be very surprised if it wasn't freestanding. Why else would you have that support back there? But the other,
Because it's a-
There's a garbage can right in the way.
you can see,
and it's
you
a,
can see the yellow one
Yeah.
but
in the back.
Garbage can.
You see, well, the plan-
It's built like it would be freestanding.
The plans that the contractor sent
It's
showed it
attached.
as, showed it as freestanding.
Yeah,
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
showed
thought
it.
I thought
it's
the applicant
freestanding.
said it was built to be attached.
well, there was another sketch that showed it attached, but that didn't happen, I don't.
That one didn't happen?
Yeah.
With the other issue. I mean,
Yeah, there's a
hand drawing.
That's the one I'm thinking of too, it was black and
There's
white,
a
like,
hand drawing of, in the permit. Here it is. It's showing legs.
showing lags.
All the way across. I flipped through it pretty quick, but it is showing lags into the structure,
Yeah,
but
forget it.
it's, but again,
Into the house.
It's not actually showing lags, it's just showing little dots.
yeah,
It's not
Yeah.
and
actually showing.
they're not in sequence.
And that was
There's no
part of
lag.
the permit that never got approved, right?
Right. Right.
Correct.
So,
So
I mean, I'm going by the
No matter what
picture.
happened, they don't have a permit for it.
They don't have a
Correct.
No matter what happens, there was no permit issued for this structure,
Or just whatever it is, right?
period.
But the other thing is that there has to have been no willful or premeditated action. And I'm not saying that the property owner
I'm not saying
was negligent, but certainly the contractor was.
contractor.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
I just want a question for point of order. So they filled out variance appeal petition and I see it says mislocated building appeal on the bottom.
Yep.
However, in our agenda, we only say variance. Are we
Well,
are we advertising that correctly if we're calling it just a
Well,
variance?
it is a variance. A
Mhm.
mislocated building appeal is for a
It's a variance.
variance.
Is a variant, a
It's
type of variance.
variance. There are-
Previous agendas, we have said
Well, maybe our
mislocated building
agendas
appeal.
need to be more specific, perhaps.
Mhm.
Yep.
If the code office could take
Is
note of
that
that.
the reason why it could not be amended, because it was advertised, declared publicly?
Well, that would be one reason, yeah.
But if it's declared just to be a meeting about a variance and it didn't go into specifics?
I am not sure that we can just change.
Which, yeah, sure.
uh, I mean, this is what they applied for, and it
Yeah.
was the wrong
Mhm.
thing. And that's too bad, and I don't know whose fault that is. And I don't see that we can fix that. But we can continue to deliberate, not deliberate, but discuss what would have happened if a mislocated building appeal, a variance had been applied for. If you wish, we could do that, go down through the criteria.
Because their option would also be to say withdrew their
Yeah.
and reapplied.
They could do that.
And getting back to this drawing
Yeah.
that we looked at,
Yeah.
it doesn't show any back legs on it. So
But the picture does.
Yeah,
this drawing itself shows no back leg. So did we change from what was given to the code office to then,
The
so
picture-
something got changed.
The picture shows legs on the back.
Yeah, the photograph.
The photograph does,
Yeah.
but the application that was put in with the drawing does not.
Does not.
And that application was never approved.
And it wasn't approved anyhow,
And that's the one that's still pending in your office?
yeah. So it, I mean, the drawing isn't accurate to what was put in anyhow. There's too many discrepancies, I think.
Where I'm at on all this is a situation where it certainly is confusion.
Yeah.
And complexity and ambiguity. I think one role that the zoning board of appeals can play is that when there is ambiguity, we get to make some decisions, which way or the other, when there's ambiguity. And then somebody may argue, well, is it really, somebody say, no, that was not fair, there is no ambiguity. But I'm at the point where I think there is some, because this whole idea of a structure, not a building and
All right.
mislocated, that's where I'm at, so that's,
But it's still further into the setback,
okay, but yeah, all of that said, and then,
it's still further in the
and
setback.
then for a minute to simulate if they had applied for a variance, when they got to the number 4 criteria,
You mean a
hardship, when they got to the number 4th criteria, will the property have any value if a variance is not granted? The property will have value if they don't get a variance. And so I'm just simulating here.
Yeah.
So even if they came back with a
hardship.
You gotta
hardship
stick with
variance,
apples and apples,
there's
not apples
4
and
criteria, you have to meet all 4. The 4th one is, will the property have any value or
Yes.
have,
It doesn't hurt value.
isn't zero value, but a significant reduction of value.
Neat
So
walls.
that's just a simulation in my mind, so that probably wouldn't fly, but we're not having that hearing right now, that's
Very,
just my
very
opinion.
rarely are those granted.
Right, okay, so coming back to the mislocated building,
And I mean, I think Jim is right, reading the definitions and just applying common sense. It isn't a building.
No.
That section is for mislocated buildings, that type of appeal. And so, we can't grant it. And the other part is, the contractor shouldn't have done that.
And
He applied for a permit and he just went ahead and did it anyway. And to me, that is willful. Not the property owner was willful, but their contractor was willful, and so, based on those two things, I can't support granting that
but
appeal.
if you put this deck around your pool, would you call it a structure?
Yeah.
Yeah, you call it a structure, but you wouldn't call it a building around the pool.
Correct.
It's basically the same thing that would be around a pool.
It's a structure. And it
It's a structure,
And it
it's not
requires a
a
permit.
building.
and it has to meet setbacks.
Correct, it's the property is already eaten up its setback. It's,
The building has.
the building's already eaten up its 20% of setback.
You know, I kind of feel bad for these folks because really,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
it
We've,
doesn't really hurt the neighborhood, but
no,
the ordinance says this is what you do, and it didn't happen. And I cannot see that we can give them relief.
no. Unfortunately, we've been doing this for 20+ years, you and I and most of us. And there's no gray area at this point.
I don't think so.
I mean,
Are we ready to wrap this up?
I believe so.
Okay, I'll go around. This is just a straw poll. This is not the final version. That'll happen August 11th after we review and vote on the draft findings. Mary, what do you think? Would you approve this appeal or not?
I go back to, I believe what you said about a lot of confusion here.
Yes.
And
Jason?
is the deck attached or not is a very important point.
Jason?
I go back to it's already within its 20% setback to begin with the building. And now we're adding on more into its setback. And it's not a building, it's a porch, it's a structure. So even if it came to us as a structure, it's within the setback, it's deeper into the setbacks. And in all the years we've been doing this, we can't have a double setback, we only got one. One setback that we can go into it for 20%, and they've already done that.
Yeah, you've already got.
They've already done that 20% at 11.3. So how are we gonna go 2 more feet into it to 9.3 or more? So that, to me, that just, it not on their part, but someone's part, I believe the contractor's part, was not paying attention to regulations when it got built, unfortunately. So, no.
I'm unclear on this and would like to have more clarification on some of the points on this. But as presented tonight, I'd say we can't give them the variance.
John?
I'm not questioning whether or not this, I don't even wanna call it a structure or a building, this thing, is in the setback. It clearly is in the setback. One role that the zoning board of appeals can play is to grant a variance for a building that is in the setback.
A building.
A thing, something in the setback, okay, so that, okay. So we have that power to grant a variance for something that's placed in the setback.
You're making this more confusing now.
Okay, well, because it is confusing, okay? So I'm not arguing that. What I am questioning is the ambiguity of the word of a mislocated building. And I understand the clear words in there. I question whether those were written properly. And as a member of an appeals board, I can have an opinion that whether an appeal should be granted. And so I would proceed to grant this variance.
Okay.
But that's my, let's continue with the straw.
With the facts that are presented to me this evening, what we went over, unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to, no.
Okay. So, depending on who shows up, it looks like probably we would not grant this appeal. And honestly, I think, and see if you folks agree, I don't believe we would be able to grant it as a hardship appeal either under
No, we already know that.
145-67A3, because the land can indeed yield a reasonable return.
Correct.
And I'm disturbed a bit too, under the mislocated building, that there was, I think, my opinion, willful action on the part of the contractor to just kind of ignore the requirements. He applied for a permit, he just went ahead and did it anyway. That's the way it looks.
I don't foresee nothing on the homeowner, it's the contractor itself. The
It
homeowner
appears
was
that way,
under
yeah.
the assumption that the contractor knew what he was talking about and what he was doing.
Can I ask a question? I know it's closed, but no, I can't. That was my question.
I also think there's some gray area too on if they were told they didn't need a permit. And I think that's coming down from that statement, from the state building code there in some way.
But,
But I don't have any clarity on that, I can't, that's just an assumption.
I think right in the front, I forget the section.
We're
But
more
it talks-
stringent than the state code, so we trump the state code. The state code says it,
Jurisdiction.
but we're more stringent. And it has to be permitted. So we're, what do I wanna say.
Yeah, but you know, if you're flying by the state building code or international building code that the state of Maine has adopted and the Wells goes by, you have a leg to stand on.
But we're more stringent.
My understanding of the way it works is we have to comply with everything that's applicable, whether it's state, federal, or town. And if the town is more stringent than the state or the federal requirements, then you have to comply with everything that's applicable.
Correct.
I'm just saying, if they were told that by someone in the code office, by mistake, wrongly told that,
Well, it shouldn't have happened.
it shouldn't happen, but I'm
Shouldn't
thinking that's
happen.
probably where someone was thinking that.
Right, but then the town said, or we got record of that,
Record
you
of-
do need a permit, and they went back and
Calls
forth.
Back
and
and
calls and
forth.
calls.
But
And then he just
the
built it
town-
anyways and ignored it,
Yeah,
cause he must have known something was wrong.
Mr. General
Yeah, you
had
got paid.
correspondence back and forth with the
Yeah.
guy and it just eventually just stopped.
I'm just interested to see how we got here on that.
Yeah, well, we may never know.
yeah, that's
Um,
unfortunately.
Just my input as well, I think the ambiguity is what's triggering me. I'm not arguing the fact that a building permit was required. Clearly it was required. Now, whether or not, even if he had one and it ended up where it was, my point was just the ambiguity. In my mind, I'm not that smart, okay? The ambiguity on, do we have the right to grant this? But I agree, the fact that it was done without a building permit, is a violation unto itself. Where it was put, and do we have the authority to allow it to go where it went, which I believe we
the
just said.
step, the steps to follow.
That's the fault, but I'm not arguing the fact it was built without a, that was an error, and it goes back to the contractor.
Setback.
I think,
Already gone through.
I think, John, as you prepare the findings, you,
It's gonna be a long one.
you need to call out the definition of building and structure. And
Second page.
and we can vote on whether we consider it.
Yeah,
a
you,
building and structure. And also, we need to address the willful premeditated action
Right.
section, because it appears to me, since he went to the trouble to actually pull a permit, and then he just didn't comply with anything,
So we withdrew it.
that it was a willful premeditated action on the part of the.
Part of the contract, and the question is that
He said
it is unclear, the premeditation, whether that's on behalf of a contractor or whether that's on behalf of a homeowner.
It was the contractor who
Somebody,
applied for, we don't necessarily have to name names, I suppose, but I think that's an issue that we need to vote on,
okay,
and it needs to be in the conclusions.
Okay.
And need to discuss the whole mess with
Yeah.
the permit being applied for and the back and forth a little bit.
right,
And that,
okay,
and that the contractor said permit was no longer needed. And
And
at
that
some
was, that
point,
was a false.
the deck was built.
Right.
Without a permit.
That was a
we
false.
have the electronic version of your memo. Or could I get, only because I envision some cutting and pasting,
Even the.
yeah, your
I
conclusions,
believe Stacy sent that to everyone.
okay,
The-
send it as a PDF image.
I don't know how she said it.
Yeah, it's not going,
It
because
should be a
my,
PDF, cause I, when I completed this, I sent it to her as a PDF document.
I just wanna, I think I envision us cutting and pasting some text from here, there and there, okay. But I'll talk to her, even if she has a
I
PDF.
believe you got it.
I do have as a PDF, and not as a
Are we,
text structure, but we'll figure that out.
are we good now?
It might be.
If we are good, then we will move on to minutes. Are you set, John?
I'll figure it out, yeah,
All right.
I'll figure it out.
anymore, right?
No,
No.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, this is the minutes for May 12th.
Yeah,
Did anyone have any comments on page 1?
I only got page 1, go ahead.
Hmm?
Yeah, are there multiple pages?
Yes, there are 2.
Front back.
Multiple. It's a singular paper, multiple.
Oh, it's on the back, okay,
Yeah.
sorry, alright, oh, okay, I'm saying, wait, that kinda ended kinda quickly.
Singular paper, multiple
Okay.
sides.
We'll make it less confusing tonight.
Paper actually has 2 sides.
These are minutes, not findings of
These are
fact, right?
minutes, that's right.
And I'm all set with it myself.
Everybody good?
So,
Page 2. I had only one comment. And this is for our recorder perhaps, I don't know. Do you have these minutes on your laptop?
Yes.
If everyone agrees, under motion to grant the appeal. It's not accept the appeal, it's,
Right.
we are granting an appeal, that's the term that we've always used.
Yes.
We either grant or deny an appeal. It's fine to say that we accept the findings of fact as amended, that's good. But we grant appeals or deny appeals.
Right, right.
Everybody agree with that?
yes,
Um,
Grant.
Anybody got any comments at all about page 2? If not,
Nope.
the meeting minutes of May 12th are approved because they are, as amended.
As amended.
Does anybody have anything they wish to discuss before we adjourn?
No.
Jim, we got anything coming up?
Right now, nope, just the August 11th,
Okay.
nothing else has been applied for.
I guess, perhaps, and I don't wanna tell you guys how to do your business, but maybe you need to caution the front of the office about providing advice on how to apply for appeals and stuff. I mean, I don't know what happened, nobody does, but you know what I mean, Jim?
I can tell you that based on attorney's advice, we're not supposed to give advice to people applying for a variance. They come in and say, I need a building appeal or a variance, we give the application for what they're requesting.
Yeah, well, maybe you need to reinforce that with the front end. I mean, I don't know.
No, Stacy handles all that.
Stacy handles all
And
that.
if they ask for a building permit,
Right.
they're asking for it.
Mhm.
Like, go
It's
in,
not
ask for
Stacy's
building
job
permit, ask for-
to decide what permit they want.
Yep.
If they're asking for a building permit, they get a building permit.
Yep.
They ask
Now
for
they're at
a,
fault.
But
Anyway.
But do they ask for a mislocated building variance application, or do they ask for a hardship?
Again, that's a comment for Stacy, cause again, she handles all the applications.
What
that
were they
was-
cited for though? What were they cited for? What does it say specifically on the citation that got them here tonight?
I don't know, they filled out the application for a mislocated building, that's all I
They had to
know.
get something from the code
Well,
office telling them that they were in violation,
cited
right?
them for-
Oh, no, the notice of violation was
put it in.
deck without a permit.
Right, they put up a structure without a permit.
So it didn't say mislocated
No, we don't.
structure, it just said
That's-
no permit.
The notice of violation does not give any kind of suggestion, it says if you wish to appeal, there's a clause, a legal clause that we have to do at the bottom of the NOV that says you have 31 days from the time you get this receipt to make an appeal to the zoning board of appeals. There's no legal advice from us at all,
So
because again, many of these cases, we have to have to have our own attorney sometimes.
Right, even if we had granted the mislocating variance, they still would be in violation, of building without a permit. Which would be another discussion or
Right, why would we do
another
it with no
violation.
permit ever pulled?
Right, another criteria,
We
But that would be-
opening ourselves
that'd
up.
be separate,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
You're gonna have more cases come forward.
Anybody got anything else before we adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn this evening's zoning board of appeals meeting.
We have a second? Got a second? All in favor? Excellent. Yeah, this was, I mean, sometimes there's a